Hello, hello. Okay. I'm going to start. We are recording this, so hopefully you can all see my lovely face. It's good to be here. Apologies for the ridiculous beard. I've been an Elizabethan this week. Yes, strange activities of Danford. But I am here now, and I'm here to talk to you about the joys of Edelweiss ordering or subbing, however you want to call it. I'm going to talk a little bit about terminology, actually, for those of us newer to the book industry. What we're going to talk about is why you would want to use Edelweiss for ordering, for doing your front list ordering, for doing your subbing, and the advantages. I'm going to talk you through how to do it. I'm going to talk you through the benefits of the various bits of data we pull together. I'm going to show you all over the screens that we use to display that data, how to place an order, and then I'm also going to show you how to pull that information into your POS system. Should you need to, should you have a POS system. When I talk about POS systems, I'm talking about Batchline, GuardLink, Merlio, and Booksolve primarily. It doesn't have to be restricted to those, but they're the ones that we currently have integrations with. So good. What I'm going to do then. So yes, some of the misconceptions about Edelweiss ordering is that in some way it's meant to replace rep visits. Not the case. Edelweiss ordering has been going for a long time in America, and that very much the reverse happened, more rep visits. What it's meant to do is make your rep visits more productive. Now, obviously, there are occasions where there's an exception to that. So, for instance, I know of various island bookshops that find it of great benefit because the reps just don't get out to see them. And so you get that one-to-one contact with a rep without having them in the shop. But that's not what it's about. It's not a replacement to your backlist ordering, your restocking of your bookshop or anything like that either. This is about discovering new titles and figuring out whether they're going to work in your shop for you, pulling in all of the information that's available on those titles, not just from the publisher, which is the obvious one, but also from other booksellers, from other book selling, book community people, so bloggers, and also your own point of sales data as well. So it's about pulling all of that information together, giving it to you in one screen, and then letting you make that decision whether you're going to place that order. The other misconception is that this is somehow high-tech, modern. I mean, it is modern, but it's high-tech and difficult. It's not difficult. It's placing a number in a box. I would argue that it is a lot easier to do your ordering in this way than with all your publishers, than doing it in 20 or 30 different ways with all your publishers. A spreadsheet here and an email there, and just all the different methods, a website, all the different ways that you might be placing your orders at the moment. If you learn this one process, you've got it sorted for all of your publishers, certainly all of your publishers that are on Edelweiss. So terminology, front list ordering. That's what we're dealing with here. Not yet published titles, current, the current months or the next month or the month after titles, future titles, or catalogue ordering, subbing. They're all the same thing. That's what we're dealing with here. We're not looking at backlist, although you can compile an order from of older titles, but that's not what we're looking at here. We're looking at getting the newest, the greatest, and having all the information in one place to do that. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I think we are ready for that. Bear with me a second. By the way, yes, there will be a Q&A at the end. Thank you, Joni. But Joni can also answer your questions if you have any along the way as well. But we're going to put aside 15 minutes at the end as a Q&A. This is recorded. And one point about it being recorded is don't forget you've got a pause button. So I'm going to show you some screens quickly, but annotated screens that are going to let you see exactly what every single item on the screen is. So yeah, don't forget you've got a pause. Lovely. Okay, so here we go. Share my screen. Let's go to this screen. Okay. Lovely. So for those of you that don't know, I also co-own a bookshop in Norwich. So I use Edelweiss all the time for our ordering, and the other staff members are also quite proficient in using Edelweiss as well. If you don't have an account, it's very easy. Just go to edelweiss.plus and create an account. If you have an account but you want to add more users, you can do that as well, and give other people the task of doing the buying if you trust them to do that. Okay, so we're on the home screen at the moment. One crucial part to placing a front list order or doing your subbing is connecting with your rep. So I would advise all of you that want to use the Edelweiss system to pop your rep an email for any publisher. Pop your rep an email just saying you're using Edelweiss for ordering. Are you on Edelweiss? Can you add me as a contact? Because they need to connect with you in order for that for the sharing of that order to happen. If you've got any problems with connecting with reps, just let us know, and we can do that work for you. We can make sure that you're connected. We are currently, I've mentioned this on the Bookseller Network, but we're currently working on a web page that tells you exactly who your reps are for different regions and for different publishers. So that's going to be hopefully a really useful resource as well. Okay, so I'm looking at my home screen at the moment. What you'll see in Edelweiss is you've got different tabs along the top. Hopefully you can see my cursor moving across them. The tabs that we're really going to be concentrating on today are the publishers, the catalogues, and we will pop into orders as well, because that's where your order will end up. So if you want to, let's have a look. If you want to find a publisher, see if a publisher has a catalogue in Edelweiss, you can go to publishers. Your recently viewed or recently searched publishers will all be in there. So you can see all the different people that I've been looking at recently. And then so you can quickly link to one of those should you need to, or you can go into the search bar at the bottom and start typing the name of the publisher and find out if they've got a catalogue live. Two of the biggest ones that are signing up at the moment won't necessarily have a catalogue live at the moment, but yeah, they're going through the sign up process as we speak. So yes, if I go in via this method, I'm going to be on the publisher's homepage. If I just go into, say, Thames and Hudson, they've got a lovely homepage, and all of their most recent catalogues are all going to be there at the top. And you can go into any of these catalogues and browse through the books just by clicking on them, and then you're in the catalogue. Okay, so that's just going to load up for a minute. There we go. So different publishers will be approaching how they display their books in different manners, but all will have jackets, all will have full bibliographic details, and hopefully most of them will have inside pages, illustrations. So that is obviously a huge benefit when it comes to placing an order, especially for a £45 art book. Yeah, so just bear in mind different publishers will have different bits of information there. So yes, that's finding a publisher and finding their homepage and then browsing the different catalogues using using their homepage. I'll just talk you through one other thing whilst we're in there, which is most publishers will have an information page. So you can go and see their contact details. They might have rep details in there, and they might have, you can see in this case, it details Mike Lapworth, who is our rep, reps for the Midlands and East Anglia. Mike is very active on Edelweiss, by the way. You've also got review copies that you could look at and download in here as well. But yeah, just to point out that there's that, that menu system you can browse through. Okay, so I do talk, I'm very sorry. I'm going to try not to get distracted by all the pretty things. Now, that's one way to go in. Now, the other way, so if a rep has worked on a catalogue specifically for you or specifically for a group of bookshops like your bookshop, so like children's bookshops, for instance, what they can do is they can take that catalogue and they can say, they can mark it up for you. So, and that's another bit of terminology. A markup is basically like an overlay of specific information that is relevant to you as a bookshop or a group of bookshops, that the rep thinks should be highlighted for your benefit. And that could be special terms for bulk buying. It could be signed editions available. It could be special editions. It could be it could just be skipping titles entirely. If you're a children's bookshop, they might decide not to show you them. Those sorts of things. So there's all of that can go on over the top of a catalogue. So if a rep has marked up a catalogue for you, you will receive an email from them. And that email will look something like this. Okay, so it's got the cover of the catalogue there. It's got the name of the catalogue, how many titles are in there, lots of the different books that are featured. So it tends to be the first like 7 or so that are in there. But then you can access that markup. You can just click on the email and in you go, and you are now in the markup. Okay, so I'm looking at a filtered version of the catalogue. So I'm going to do a very quick order. I'm just going to show you how quick and easy this can be. So first thing I'm going to do is create an order. This is the orange bar along the bottom. I'm going to click on the plus. I'm going to call it PRH Test April. Okay, and now I can share it with a rep. My rep is not currently on Edelweiss for PRH because they're just trialing it with 2 of their reps. But Jess is, Jess from Max Manavas actually is, who I believe is in the room. Yes, if I was to share it with a rep, that means the rep is then going to place the order for me. Okay, so this is, I'm rambling. Create an order, save. That's all I need to do. Give it a name and save it. There we go. PRH test. This orange bar determines which order I'm adding books to. Now that I've done that, I can now order books using this orange box. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how quick it can be. Now, very quickly, just put some numbers in here. Let's have 2 of those, 1 of those. Now, all I'm doing is entering a number and pressing tab, and it goes to the next book and the next book and the next book. Now, if I'm finished with that book, I mean, there are 4 pages of this catalogue, so I'm not going to go through the whole 4 because we will run out of time. But now I've finished with that order, I can go to orders. Okay, if I want PRH to place this order for me, I can click on shares. I can find my PRH rep in here. So let's have a look. There she is. There we go. Jess, Neil is actually my rep. So yeah, I can select Neil, and then I can choose to send him an email that will tell him that I've completed this order. Okay, so I've selected my rep. I can share it with Neil, and then I can send him an email. I can put a little note in the email if I like. Save. Oh, I can say it's finished. Save. And that's done. That order is done. Okay, now I'm going to go into further details about what you do next in terms of getting that order into your point of sale system. And the crucial thing about that is once it's in your point of sale system, you know, everything knows about that order. So a customer comes into the shop tomorrow and says, have you got so-and-so book? You can allocate that book that's coming from PRH to that customer. If you are a member of analytics, you'll be able to add, you'll be able to see it in analytics that it's on order. And also it benefits the whole community because the whole community can also see, not you specifically, but as a group of bookshops, this book is being ordered quite heavily. Okay, so that's the importance of bringing it into your point of sale system at the end, and I will show you that. Okay. So, we've done, so I'm just going to have a very quick look at the home page just to tell you that you will get notifications in here. So I can see that I've had shared markups in here in a notifications box. I can see that there are new catalogues that have been put online in here, so I can jump immediately to that catalogue. I can see my analytics, so any analytics stores that are out there, I can see titles I don't have, that sort of thing. Publisher listings, all of these widgets are customizable. So just know that this whole homepage can be customized. You can add a widget over here. And then you can choose, okay, let's look at my catalogues shared with me, for instance. So these are all catalogues that markups have been shared with me for, which is really useful information. Okay, so what I'm going to do it now is so we've discussed markups, we've looked at markups. There is also something called a collection. A collection is the same as a catalogue, except that an indie rep who represents 20 different publishers can create you a collection that has all of those different publishers' books in. They can even separate them by distributor. I know of various reps that do this. Separate it by different distributor so that you can build your order based on who the distributor is. So that's what a collection is. Collection is also, you can make your own collections. If I was to go into catalogs, I have a button in here, and I do this all the time for customer queries where I can create a collection based on books that they've inquired about. But that's just one of many uses you can use collections for. Okay, so I've shown you sharing with a rep. What we're going to go into is the ordering screen. So we're going to go back into the Penguin catalogue. This is, again, is the marked up version. So what the markup version is giving me is things that the rep has recommended, essentially. So in this instance, this is a featured title, the Ali Smith book. Okay, this book here is a featured title. I can see that because it says featured along the top, and it has 4 stars there. This one is a highlighted title, so that's just another way of bringing to your attention a book. Okay, So that's a highlighted one, featured, and then we go down to some that just haven't had so much attention paid to them. But you can also see markup notes as well. So this grey box here will contain any markup notes that anyone has added to these titles. So in this instance, gardeners actually very helpfully upload their ratings to their select catalogue, and because they've done that in their select catalogue, we can see them in here as well. And yeah, this is where you'll see notes about signed editions, how to get them, how to get special editions, all that sort of thing. Now I'm going to show you a couple of screens now, so get ready on your pause button if you're watching this on replay. But these two screens are annotated illustrations of the ordering screen detailing every single bit of it. Now I'm not going to go into every single bit individually, but I wanted to show you the annotations. Okay, so this is the first one. So as I say, I'm not going to go into any more detail on this screen than just showing it, ready for you to pause. And then this is the other one. Okay, so hopefully every item on this screen, on the ordering screen, is now being detailed here. Okay, so I'm now going to hide that. And now I'm going to talk about some that I think are the most important. So when I'm doing my ordering, and because I'm an analytics customer, I can see what other bookshops are doing with these titles. So 11% of other bookshops, unsurprisingly for Ali Smith, but 11% have already ordered this title that's not out until April. So what that means is, and bear in mind, not everybody puts their front list ordering into their POS system. So we only know about a small proportion of the whole, and not everyone does front list ordering either. Some people wait until the book is out. But 11% have already ordered this, which is a really big number. And as you work the way down, 8% have ordered this one. In this case, 1% have actually managed to sell a copy as well. Yeah, not sure how, but that does, you know, you can put into your POS system what you like. You will also see a stock percentage if the book is out and being stocked heavily as well. So that's what the green bar is doing. Now you can turn on or off all of these options, just so you know. So if you don't see the options here, they're all in other actions, and then you've got show and hide to show and hide various parts of the order screen. I always show the analytics data, and I always show the comp titles as well. Okay, so this is another exciting part about front list ordering, is the reps or the publisher themselves will give you comparable titles to the title that you're considering buying. What that means for analytics customers is you can look at this group of comp titles, comparable titles, and see how well they did in your shop. Okay, now you may know that Spring was a brilliant seller in your shop, in which case you don't need analytics to tell you that. However, for me, I can see that my lifetime sales of Spring was 1 copy. Okay, summer 2 copies, autumn 4 copies, and I've got 1. Okay, I can see all of that information from here. Now, what's brilliant about comps is we're not just reliant on the publisher telling us what the comps are. We can work as a community to create comps for each other. So what I can do is come into find additional comps. Okay, and then I can do a title search for a title that I think is comparable to this new Ali Smith. And it may not even be an Ali Smith title. It may be something completely different, but on the same subject, you know, that you want to compare sales to. So you can do all of that in here, title search, author search, or ISBN. But where the magic of bringing together the book selling community works is we've got this community comps down here. And the more we use this, the more useful it's going to be for each other. And there are some brilliant users already doing this. Particularly Antonio is great at Bridport. I always put them in. Various other bookshops I notice putting them in as well. So if we want to see what those other community comps are, I can click on the 6 there. So that tells me there are 6 other comps I can add. I can tick them. In fact, 3 of them are already in the list, but I can tick them all, add them. And then I can see for all of the comparable titles what my sales were like for those. If you're not on analytics, don't worry, because the comps will still be there. You just won't see your sales. But you know, if you see a book that is comped to this title, you know, you can go and look it up in your own system, or you may just know. Okay, but that's the idea of comps. So they're just really, really useful in terms of finding out how well other books like them did. Other areas to look at. So yes, so we've got jackets. I've shown you inside pages on the Thames and Hudson catalogue as well. They're great. You can click on any of these, get a full version. And then if there are inside pages, you can cycle through all of that as well. You can also, so we've got community reviews up here as well. So I can see what other people are saying about this book. We've got much love as well. So if there's much love for this title, that might help sway your decision as to whether you're getting it. You get some really, really big numbers in there sometimes. So they're worth paying attention to. Awards will be in here as well. So, you know, the Booker Prize will have a little logo of the Booker Prize on there. The Costa Prize. Most of the UK awards are now in there because I maintain those. And all the US ones are in there as well. Yeah, whenever you're looking at a title in Edelweiss, you'll know if it's an award winner. Some other bits to help you when you're doing your ordering. So I went and did a really quick order just to show you how quick it can be. But what I want to show you is some of the other jobs you can do while you're doing your ordering. Okay, so one thing I might want to do, let's have a look. I might want to tag this book. So this might be a book that I don't want to get in necessarily, but I might want to refer back to it for a later customer query. So say this had a strong LGBTQ theme to it. I might want to go into tags and tag it as LG, I don't think this does, but you get the idea, LGBTQ. There you go. I can see I've already got a tag there set up for it, and I can add that tag to it. It may be that it is a strong local theme, so it might be set in Norwich, for instance. I could tag it as Norwich. Okay, so that's this button down here. It's a tag. So I can build up tags for this specific book that I can later call back on by going into this tags tab up here. I love doing that. The other thing I can do is add it to a mailing campaign. So if you're using our mailing system, or if you want to use our mailing system, which is completely free, all I have to do as I'm going through the catalogues is click on campaign and then add it to a campaign. Let's add it to big releases. So that's a campaign that I've got going at the moment. So we're multitasking. We're not just doing buying, we're doing tagging, we're building a mailing. We might have an event lined up with Ali Smith, so we could add it to that event as well. I don't think I've got any events open at the moment, but yeah, I can add this book to the event that I've got running for it. So that's another job you've done in one go. You've got a notes facility if you want to add it to notes. You've got a shelf facility where you can add it to anticipating, highly anticipating, you're reading it, all of those sorts of things. And the other thing I wanted to show you about comps, sorry to skip back a little bit, but if you've got a gap in your stock, for instance, so you've seen that, let's see, I mean, I wouldn't do this because it's a hardback, but I sold 2 of these. Maybe I think that I want to get Summer back in as a hardback, or you like the look of the comp, but you haven't had it and you don't have it. You can add this to your order. So we can click on the graph. Okay, there's the book. This is my POS data about the book, but I can go into orders and just add this in. There we go. And that is now in my Penguin order that I'm building at the moment. So yeah, you can fill in some gaps in your stock based on the comp title. You're probably thinking at the moment, this is going to cost me a lot of money in my buying, but it does help you fill in some of those gaps that you've got. So let's just move on. Oh, of course, if you want to look at more details about the book, you've got this 4-way cross here. So we can click on that. That brings up all the bibliographic details about the book that are separated by these different menu items. So we've got Biblio, which we could already see on the previous screen. We've got markup information, so we can see the different markup that has been produced for this book. We've got summary, so this is obviously all about the book. Contributor bio, so a bio about the author or any contributors. Quotes and reviews, this is huge, there are lots of things in there. Point of sale data, your orders, so there you can see that's I've already added it to an order. Peer data, so this is what other bookshops are doing with it, and this is regionalized as well, so I can see the various shops that have placed an order for it and split by region as well. Gardner's stock levels. Now, obviously, this is a front list title, so they don't have it, but you can see for any book you look up in Edelweiss whether Gardner's have it in stock, which is great information to have. Okay, so that's what this screen is doing. Again, the functionality to tag, to review is all down here as well as on the main screen. Okay, so tags. Okay, so yeah, what I would do is set up your ordering screen how you like it. I personally like it just to show minimal bibliographic information, the analytics data, but not all of the description about the book. But in other actions, you can just come in and tick content, and then immediately you've got all the information about the book there. It just makes the page a bit bigger, which is troublesome to me. I prefer more compact, and then if I want the biblio about the book, I'll go into it. But all of this can be reduced using these buttons as well. So if I don't want the comps, then I can minimize it here as well. Okay, don't forget that you've got pages up here. Okay, so we can flip between different pages. And also we've got filtering on the left hand side. So if the catalogue isn't marked up for you, or if you're a children's bookshop and you don't want to look at all the grown-up books, for instance, or if you're particularly looking for a biography, or there could be all sorts of reasons you want to use this, on the left hand side are ways of filtering this catalogue. So I might just want to look at the highlighted titles. And there you go. So these are all the highlighted titles. Okay, I'm not looking at anything else in this catalogue. I might want to look at whether I've got it in stock or not. That's one thing I didn't show you, but I can luckily show you this. So Drama Llama, we've already somehow got this in stock. I can tell that because of this little number over the order box. That guarantees that I'm not going to be putting this order in again. Okay, So, and as you can see, I've got a nice inside page on this one as well. I might also want to just look at children's. Now I'm going to remove some of these other refinements. You can see I've got this refinements box up here. I'm going to remove that. Okay. And I'm going to just look at children's. There we go. So this is the children's categorized books within the main Penguin catalogue. You can see there are just 25 of them of the full 194. So there we go. I can look through just the children's if I wanted to. And yeah, and browse through those. So yes, so that's that. Now I'm aware that we're coming up to close to time. Did I show you categorization? These are my categories in my shop. So this is automatically categorized this book as a chapter book in my shop, which is correct. Now, but I might decide, oh, actually, no, that's more of an early reader. And I can change it to early reader. So just be aware, and you don't have to have it automatically categorized. You can just, as some booksellers do, decide as you're ordering what category you want them to go into. And this is brilliant, because what this means is when you import this order into your system, well, Batchline does this at the moment, GuardLink are working on this, it will automatically categorize the book as it comes into your system. So as you're goodsing in the books, you're not thinking, where does that need to go? Where does that need to go? It's all there in front of you. So yes, as we are coming up to time, I'm going to go on to getting these orders into your system. Okay, so go into orders. Okay, there's my test order there. And what I'm going to do with this is export it. Okay. This brings up a screen. I was testing it earlier, so it's set to gardeners, but my system is Batchline. So yours should be set to your system, and it should already be set, because when we set you up, we know what system you're on. If it isn't set, then you can choose from this drop down. Okay. So Batchline ordering. There we go. I've got ISBN. This is basically the correct format to go into my system. So all I need to do is click download. That's going to download the correct formatted file, and then it's going to ask me, do I want to complete it? Now, I would normally say yes, but this is a test, so I'm going to say no. But you would say yes. That then tells the rep you're done with it. It's ready to go. Okay, so into your system. So this is my system that I use. We go into, and I'm going to show you GuardLink as well, because I've got an installation of that. We're going to go into manual ordering, which is in front office. So manual ordering, it's a stock order, and we're going to choose batch entry mode. We click OK. Now we go to, and this is really important, but we are hoping this is going to change soon, but what you need to do is select your supplier. So TBS, distribute Penguin, so I'm selecting TBS, import from file, so that's that first button up there. It's gone into my downloads, there it is, PRH test, open. Okay. They're the books in there. I imagine there might be a bit of pausing and so on for the people watching this again. So that's loaded the ISBNs, it's loaded the quantity, it's loaded the category, quite importantly. Now I'm going to go to process. So I've done import, now I'm going to go to process. And that's going to go off and find all of the titles. Okay. For that to find it, and now the last step is I'm going to go to complete, and then I'm going to put it into a new order because I don't have an open order for TBS, so new order. Okay, and that has put that into a TBS order. There is details, and I can now transmit that order. Okay, and I would just transmit it to my printer because I don't need to tell the publisher what I've done, because that's all happened via Edelweiss. Okay, lovely. Now, if you're a GuardLink customer, you will have, so let's do it with the same order. So there is our POH test order. I'm going to go to export. So for a GuardLink customer, you can go to Gardeners. There it is, Gardeners. Again, if you are a GuardLink customer, that should already be set. Okay, so that's the information GuardLink needs. Go to download, and that's created this little order down here for us. And if I just go into my upstairs computer where my GuardLink installation is, what you will be doing is going into stock, hang on, let's just go to a sec. So order, so product order. Oh no, that's not right. So you can tell I don't do this very often. So bear with me a second. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Michael's probably going to be pulling his hair out at the moment. Product. I think the recording just stopped there, but we're back. Good stuff. So hang on, let me just go. Let's just go. I thought it was in stock control, but I might be on the wrong screen. Sorry, Michael, don't kill me. But I believe it is in stock control order, and then you want the import from file, copy, import from file option, and then the import will just go straight into GuardLink. Choose your supplier, and away you go. I do also want to say, by the way, just because this is all about front list ordering, if you don't have a relationship with the publisher, so like Florist Books, for instance, I love their books, they're based up in Scotland, but I wouldn't necessarily order my front list titles from them. I'd go straight to Gardeners for them. So when I was doing the import of the order, I could very legitimately set my supplier to Gardeners and push the order that way. And if you're doing that, you can add books from all sorts of different catalogues and then just push the order to Gardeners. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. So yes, the other thing, if you're not on Gardeners, GuardLink or Batchline or Merlio or Booksolve, you can just open up the Gardeners website, create a basket and import the order into the basket as well. So don't feel like you can't do this just because you don't have a POS system or a stock control system. It's great if you have a stock control system because that then reports back to us and gives you all the features of analytics. But yeah, don't feel like you can't order via Edelweiss without a POS system, because you absolutely can. Okay, so look at that, look, almost 1:45. I think we are ready to start looking at some questions if anybody has any. I think we did have some, so I'm going to pop into here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for the minute. Stop. There we go. So hello, back again. Always amazes me that I can keep talking for so long. Dan, you're in the stock order screen already. Just click import list. There you go. See, I knew someone from GuardLink would be pulling their hair out. I am sorry. Yeah, that's just my inexperience of using the system. Oh, hello, Matt. Right. Anyone can be an analytic customer. Yeah. So I don't think we have any questions. Does anybody have any questions that they want to field to me? Just looking at Q&A. I don't think there is any. I mean, the demo must have been so good that you're just all ready to get started. I think really the key is do connect with your reps, do let your reps know that you intend to order via Edelweiss. Have a look through who is currently on there, but just because they're not currently on there doesn't mean they're not about to be. We've got some really big names, like I say, Hachette, BRH, as I've just shown you, Bounce, various others are coming on board at the moment. Yeah, it seems like we've hit a point at which people are coming to us because of the actions that you've been taking, because so many people have used, so many booksellers are using it now. Okay, Joni, do you think, is there anything I've missed that you want to raise?
No, I don't think so. I think you did an excellent job.
Thank you very much. Most of you will have met Joni. Well, I say most of you, but she was over for a lot of last year, visiting lots of bookshops and at the VA conference. So thank you, Joni, for helping with the tech side of this. Okay, if there is nothing else, then we should wrap this up, I believe. Thank you so much for those of you who've tuned in today. Cool. Yeah, for those of you.
I would just say that if any of you guys do have any additional questions, you can always reach out to Dan, or you can reach out to me, or you can email support, which is support@abovethetreeline.com, and those questions will be answered to us, but you can always reach us or any of our support team there.
Absolutely. Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much, and see you all soon at an event, hopefully, LBF or otherwise. We will have a stand at the LBF actually, so it'd be great to, you know, for you to pop in and say hello. Bye-bye.